Before we begin, pause for a moment and ask yourself one honest question. If nothing changed in your life this year, how would you feel 1 year from now? Most people enter a new year hoping things will be different, but hope alone has never transformed a life. They wait for motivation, for confidence, for the right moment, and slowly the year passes them by. Not because they lacked potential, but because they never took control. This speech is not here to hype you up for a few minutes. It's here to challenge how you think, how you act, and how you show up every single day in 2026. What you're about to hear isn't theory or inspiration you forget tomorrow. These are rules, simple, powerful rules that decide who wins and who stays stuck. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by your goals, distracted by life, or frustrated that you're capable of more but not living up to it, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll understand why most people remain average and exactly what separates those who become unstoppable. This is about taking back control of your time, your energy, and your future. Not next month, not next year. Starting now, stay with me until the end, because the final rule is the one that changes everything. Ownership creates power, because the moment you take full responsibility for your life, you regain control over it. Most people unknowingly give their power away by blaming circumstances, other people, their past, or bad luck. When something goes wrong, they look outward for reasons instead of inward for solutions. This mindset feels comfortable, but it quietly keeps them stuck. Ownership removes that comfort and replaces it with authority. When you accept that your results are a reflection of your choices, habits, and standards, you also accept that you have the ability to change them. That realization is where real power begins. Taking ownership does not mean blaming yourself emotionally or feeling guilty about mistakes. It means looking at reality honestly and saying, "This is mine to fix." If your goals aren't moving, ownership asks how your daily actions are misaligned. If your health is declining, ownership asks what habits you're tolerating. If your time feels out of control, ownership asks where you are leaking focus. This approach shifts your thinking from victimhood to leadership. Leaders don't wait for perfect conditions. They adapt, decide, and act with what they have. Ownership also builds confidence, because every time you take responsibility and act, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Confidence doesn't come from positive thinking alone. It comes from evidence. Each disciplined decision, each follow through, each correction you make becomes proof that you can rely on yourself. Over time, this self-trust compounds and hesitation fades. You stop asking for permission. You stop waiting to be rescued. You move faster because you no longer debate who is responsible. When you live with ownership, your problems become projects instead of burdens. Challenges stop feeling personal and start feeling solvable. You waste less energy complaining and more energy building solutions. Even setbacks become useful because you extract lessons instead of excuses. Ownership sharpens awareness, strengthens discipline, and forces clarity. It aligns your actions with your goals because you know no one else is coming to save you. People who embrace ownership don't have more advantages. They simply respond differently to reality. They see feedback where others see failure. They see responsibility where others see unfairness. This mindset transforms how you use time, how you manage emotions, and how you show up every day, turning effort into momentum and intention into measurable progress through deliberate choice and conscious action in every situation they face. Motivation feels powerful in the moment, but it is unreliable by nature. It rises and falls based on mood, energy, and circumstances. When people depend on motivation, they work only when they feel inspired and stop when discomfort appears. Systems remove that weakness by creating structure that operates even when motivation is low. A system is a set of repeatable actions tied to a schedule and a standard, not a feeling. It turns progress into something automatic rather than optional, which is why it consistently outperforms bursts of enthusiasm. A system shifts decision-making from emotional to intentional. Instead of asking whether you feel like working, training, learning, or focusing, the system already answers that question for you. The decision was made in advance. This reduces mental fatigue and prevents procrastination. When your day is designed around clear routines, you conserve willpower for execution instead of wasting it on internal debate. Over time, this creates momentum because progress happens daily, not occasionally. Systems also create predictability, and predictability builds trust with yourself. When you know exactly when and how you will work on your goals, inconsistency disappears. Missed days become rare because the system lowers the friction to start. Even on difficult days, you can follow the process at a reduced intensity and still move forward. This keeps the identity of consistency intact, which is far more important than perfect performance. Another advantage of systems is that they make progress measurable. Motivation often chases big outcomes, which can feel distant and overwhelming. Systems focus on controllable actions like time spent, reps completed, pages written, or tasks finished. This brings satisfaction from execution instead of outcomes, allowing you to stay engaged longer. Progress becomes visible in your behavior before it becomes visible in results. As systems run daily, they compound quietly. Small actions repeated over weeks and months create results that motivation alone cannot sustain. This is why people with simple, disciplined routines often outperform those with grand goals but no structure. A well-built system removes the need for constant self-encouragement and replaces it with momentum. It trains discipline, strengthens focus, and ensures forward movement regardless of mood, pressure, or external conditions, making consistency inevitable through deliberate repetition and structured action every single day. Energy is the foundation behind every action, decision, and result you experience. Without sufficient physical and mental energy, even the best plans fail to translate into execution. Many people focus on managing time while ignoring energy, not realizing that time is useless if you are too exhausted, distracted, or mentally drained to use it well. When energy is high, focus sharpens, discipline feels lighter, and challenges become manageable. When energy is low, simple tasks feel overwhelming and procrastination takes over. Protecting energy begins with recognizing what drains it. Poor sleep, inconsistent routines, unhealthy food choices, constant screen exposure, and unresolved stress slowly deplete your capacity to perform. These drains often go unnoticed because they feel normal, but over time they reduce clarity and resilience. Mental energy is especially fragile. Endless notifications, multitasking, and emotional noise fracture attention and leave you feeling busy yet unproductive. When mental energy is scattered, confidence drops and decision-making becomes reactive rather than intentional. Upgrading energy requires intentional habits that support both the body and the mind. Consistent sleep restores cognitive function and emotional control. Physical movement increases blood flow, improves mood, and builds endurance for long work sessions. Nutrition directly affects focus and stability, while hydration supports sustained alertness. Just as important is protecting psychological energy by setting boundaries, limiting unnecessary commitments, and reducing exposure to negativity. Saying no becomes a strategic decision, not a selfish one. High energy also amplifies discipline. When your body and mind are supported, it becomes easier to follow through on systems and routines. You rely less on willpower because your baseline state is strong. This creates a positive loop where good habits fuel energy, and energy fuels consistency. Over time, this loop compounds, making effort feel more natural and resistance less powerful. People who treat energy as a priority operate differently. They are calmer under pressure, sharper in conversation, and more resilient during setbacks. They recover faster from stress and stay focused longer on meaningful work. Energy determines the quality of your output and the speed of your progress. When you guard it intentionally and invest in its growth, you raise the ceiling of what you can handle and accomplish, turning potential into sustained performance through deliberate care and conscious daily choices. Focus has become rare because attention is constantly being pulled in multiple directions. Every notification, message, and open tab competes for mental space, fragmenting concentration and weakening performance. When focus is scattered, effort is diluted and progress slows. The ability to concentrate deeply on one meaningful task at a time is no longer common, which is why it has become a powerful advantage. Those who can sustain focus, produce higher quality work, make clearer decisions, and move faster toward their goals. Focus creates leverage by allowing you to apply your full mental capacity to what matters most. Instead of spreading energy across dozens of low-impact activities, focused attention channels effort into actions that create real results. This reduces wasted time and increases the value of every hour spent working. When you are fully present with a task, learning accelerates and mistakes decrease. You not only work harder, but work smarter because your mind is aligned with the objective instead of divided by distractions. Distraction feels harmless in small moments, but its cumulative effect is destructive. Each interruption forces the brain to reset, draining mental energy and breaking momentum. Over time, this constant switching trains the mind to seek novelty instead of depth. Focus, on the other hand, strengthens mental endurance. The more you practice sustained attention, the easier it becomes to enter a state of deep work where progress feels fluid and efficient. This state is where meaningful growth and creative breakthroughs occur. Choosing focus requires intention and discipline. It means deciding in advance what deserves your attention and removing everything else during execution. This can involve setting clear priorities, defining time blocks for deep work, and creating environments that support concentration. Focused individuals design their surroundings and schedules to protect their attention, understanding that attention is a limited resource. By reducing noise, they increase clarity. As focus improves, confidence grows because results become consistent. You see tangible progress, which reinforces belief in your ability to execute. Focus turns effort into outcomes and intention into reality. In a world full of noise, the person who can concentrate deeply gains a lasting advantage, moving with purpose and precision, while others remain busy but stagnant, steadily transforming attention into impact through deliberate control of mental direction. Consistency is what turns intention into identity. Many people take occasional action and expect lasting change, but growth is shaped by what you repeat, not what you attempt once. Small actions performed daily may feel insignificant in the moment, yet they slowly redefine how you see yourself. Each repeated behavior sends a signal to the mind about who you are becoming. Over time, these signals accumulate, forming an identity that either supports or sabotages your goals. When actions are consistent, they remove uncertainty. You no longer question whether you are committed because your behavior answers that question for you. This builds self-trust, which is the foundation of confidence. Confidence is not loud or emotional, it is quiet certainty built through repetition. Every time you show up when it would be easier not to, you strengthen the belief that you can rely on yourself. This belief influences future decisions, making disciplined choices feel natural rather than forced. Consistency also reduces the pressure to perform perfectly. When progress is built on daily repetition, a single bad day loses its power. You understand that results come from trends, not moments. This mindset prevents burnout and discouragement because the focus stays on returning to the process instead of judging yourself for temporary setbacks. As long as the pattern continues, growth remains inevitable. Over time, consistent actions compound. What starts as effort becomes habit, and what becomes habit shapes character. You begin to act in alignment with your goals automatically, without constant motivation or reminders. This is where transformation truly happens. You are no longer trying to become disciplined. You are disciplined. You are no longer chasing confidence. You embody it. The identity shift makes progress sustainable because it is rooted in who you are, not how you feel. People who understand the power of consistency stop searching for shortcuts. They commit to simple actions they can repeat regardless of mood or circumstance. This commitment creates momentum that builds quietly but powerfully. Each day reinforces the next, strengthening discipline, resilience, and belief. Over time, these repeated choices shape behavior, character, and outcomes, turning small daily actions into a lasting personal transformation driven by steady, intentional repetition. Consistency is what turns intention into identity. Many people take occasional action and expect lasting change, but growth is shaped by what you repeat, not what you attempt once. Small actions performed daily may feel insignificant in the moment, yet they slowly redefine how you see yourself. Each repeated behavior sends a signal to the mind about who you are becoming. Over time, these signals accumulate, forming an identity that either supports or sabotages your goals. When actions are consistent, they remove uncertainty. You no longer question whether you are committed because your behavior answers that question for you. This builds self-trust, which is the foundation of confidence. Confidence is not loud or emotional. It is quiet certainty built through repetition. Every time you show up when it would be easier not to, you strengthen the belief that you can rely on yourself. This belief influences future decisions, making disciplined choices feel natural rather than forced. Consistency also reduces the pressure to perform perfectly. When progress is built on daily repetition, a single bad day loses its power. You understand that results come from trends, not moments. This mindset prevents burnout and discouragement because the focus stays on returning to the process instead of judging yourself for temporary setbacks. As long as the pattern continues, growth remains inevitable. Over time, consistent actions compound. What starts as effort becomes habit, and what becomes habit shapes character. You begin to act in alignment with your goals automatically, without constant motivation or reminders. This is where transformation truly happens. You are no longer trying to become disciplined, you are disciplined. You are no longer chasing confidence, you embody it. The identity shift makes progress sustainable because it is rooted in who you are, not how you feel. People who understand the power of consistency stop searching for shortcuts. They commit to simple actions they can repeat regardless of mood or circumstance. This commitment creates momentum that builds quietly but powerfully. Each day reinforces the next, strengthening discipline, resilience, and belief. Over time, these repeated choices shape behavior, character, and outcomes, turning small daily actions into a lasting personal transformation driven by steady, intentional repetition. Execution over perfection is the mindset that separates progress from stagnation. Many people delay action because they want the perfect plan, the perfect timing, or the perfect version of themselves before they begin. This desire for perfection often disguises fear of failure, judgment, or wasted effort. While it feels responsible to wait until everything is ready, this waiting quietly prevents growth. Execution breaks that cycle by prioritizing movement over certainty and learning over comfort. When you execute before you feel ready, you gain clarity that thinking alone can never provide. Action produces feedback, and feedback refines direction. Without execution, ideas remain theoretical and confidence remains fragile. Each step taken reveals what works and what doesn't, allowing adjustment in real time. Perfection tries to eliminate mistakes in advance, while execution accepts mistakes as part of the process. This acceptance reduces pressure and makes progress lighter and faster. Perfectionism often creates paralysis because the standards are too high to begin. The mind focuses on everything that could go wrong instead of what could be learned. Execution simplifies the process by narrowing attention to the next actionable step. This creates momentum, and momentum builds confidence. Confidence does not come from flawless performance, but from repeated exposure to action and recovery. Each imperfect attempt strengthens resilience, and skill execution also saves time. Overthinking consumes energy without producing results. By acting early, you shorten the distance between effort and outcome. Even if the action is inefficient at first, it provides real data that improves future decisions. Progress becomes iterative rather than theoretical. You move forward, adjust, and move again instead of endlessly preparing. Those who value execution understand that readiness is built, not found. They trust themselves to figure things out along the way. This trust reduces fear, increases adaptability. Over time, the habit of executing quickly builds decisiveness and speed. You stop waiting for confidence and let action create it. Perfection loses its grip because progress becomes visible and tangible. Execution transforms uncertainty into experience and ideas into results, reinforcing growth through continuous action, learning, and forward motion driven by deliberate choice rather than hesitation. Becoming unstoppable in 2026 is not about doing everything at once or transforming your life overnight. It is about deciding who you are willing to become and aligning your actions with that decision every single day. When you take full ownership, build systems instead of chasing motivation, protect your energy, sharpen your focus, stay consistent, and choose execution over perfection, you step out of reaction and into control. These principles work together to create momentum that compounds over time. Each day becomes a vote for the future you want, and every disciplined choice strengthens your identity. When standards rise, excuses fall away. Progress stops being accidental and starts being intentional. This is how ordinary effort turns into extraordinary results, and how potential becomes performance. The path is simple, but it requires commitment. If you follow these rules, 2026 will not just be another year you survive, it will be the year you lead your life with clarity, confidence, and unstoppable forward motion. Good luck, thank you message. Good luck as you step into 2026 with purpose and discipline. Stay patient with the process, stay committed to your standards, and trust the work you put in each day. Thank you for investing your time, your focus, and your belief in your own growth. Your future is shaped by what you do next, and the fact that you are here means you are already on the right